What you just saw then was not smoke. We actually got a light misting of rain all night, or for most of the night. After I was out for most of yesterday, as I was getting back, it was starting to rain a bit, and it was just a really light drizzle, and it just settled in for what seems like the whole evening. It obviously stopped probably midway through the night because our landing outside the kitchen door had actually dried up a little bit, and when you look at the roads, it has either soaked in or dried up a bit. Can't remember if I actually said yesterday, after taking off from work, after dropping off all that timber to try and get to the scrapyard, when I got to the scrapyard, it was actually closed for the whole day, not just so I missed it. So it was closed completely, which I wish I'd looked into that. Should have. From there, I went to storage, went to Bunnings, then I went to one of the return and earn recycle bottle vending machines to get rid of all the bottles that you can see the bags in the back, and it was full. There was only one. They got 2 glass, 2 plastic and cans. One of the glass ones was not full, and I had 5 glass bottles. So everything else is plastic or cans. I rearranged the stuff, crammed the wire and everything back down into the trailer better so I could tie the tarp over it. So when I go to the store, it wasn't all looking completely disgraceful. Went and did grocery shopping, and then I got back to the house at about 10 o'clock. And I contacted a young bloke yesterday to see if he'd be able to work today, and he said yes. So, and one of the first things we're going to be doing is putting more soil out, especially behind the sheds. I still haven't shown you behind the sheds, sorry, but I don't want to be taking all the stuff that was in the trailer out to do that. So my intention was to get up early this morning, try and get down to the scrapyard when they open, and they should have just opened, so I'm running late. It's so hard to wake up in the morning. And then I'll also see if the machine has been emptied on the way back. There's several of the machines around, but on the way back to the house, there's only really 2 I know of. One's a little bit out of the way, the other one's on the way. I think I'll try the one that is on the way, and if it's still full, hasn't been emptied, I'll go via the other one because it's a little bit out of the way, it's not too far, because I don't want to leave this stuff all in the car, but I want to try and make sure I get back to the house by 8. It was nice to see a little bit of rain. We got a little bit the night before as well. Tomorrow is meant to be the really bad conditions again. Keeping a close eye on these fires down south of us, the Warragamba fire. I just finished at the scrapyard. Not a profitable trip, but a worthwhile trip to get rid of that crap out of the yard. You realise 40 kilos just in fencing wire and a 1-star picket, a little bit of the legs from the table, and some of the steel I found lying around in the yard, like buried in the dirt. That was $4 worth. The cast aluminium feet off the bottom of that desk that broke, 80 cents a kilo. I got $2.40 just for those. And the extruded aluminium, which was one little part off that desk, and some stuff I had like some old screen window surround stuff that I had lying out in the pallets. 45 for that, $1.15 a kilo. So all up, $9.85. Nothing to really holler and whoop about in terms of money intake, but great to get rid of it all out of the yard. There's going to be more, I know that, but yesterday I just grabbed what I could get really easy and pull out. As I said before, it's all going to get recycled, which is good. It's basically paid for the fuel to come down here, plus a bit of extra. And now I'll just go and see if the reverse vending machine is just over here, just down the next set of lights, and if fingers crossed it's empty and I can actually use it. Got 17 bucks for my bottles and cans, so that kind of made the trip worth it, and they're all out of the way, so heading back to the house. This is the area behind the shed. There's the retaining wall I've been building. This used to be all overgrown and had all the copper logs piled up and all that sort of stuff, so young bloke cleared all this out for me, and he also cleared off the fence. That brings us back around to this area. The sawhorses with all the timber is gone. There's just a few smaller pieces left over there. It means the ladder can go up against the shed. Cleaned off all the leaves that he collected here. Just got to put some soil down on here and this bit here now. Another day nearing an end. Just dropped the young bloke off. We got one huge load of bamboo and vine taken up to the tip. Turns out they'll accept cardboard for free as well, and I've got quite a bit of cardboard in one of the sheds that we were keeping to pack stuff with, and then we decided we would prefer to pack stuff in crates instead. So I'm going to get rid of all that cardboard there from like just about everything we collected in the mail for the last few years. So I might actually grab all that stuff out, put it into the car, and that way they could go with the load of bamboo that we take tomorrow, because he's available tomorrow. Come down the place at 8. Bit of overhanging branches near the sheds that he can use my pole saw to do. He's got more of the young person strength to hold that up now. And I might continue working in the front yard, because I was having a fair bit of success at getting the vine out that's all over the hill. I don't particularly want to get rid of the ivy, but there's a lot of the potato vine and jasmine mixed in amongst it, and jasmine when it flowers really affects my wife. Affects me a bit, but really affects my wife. And I'm always just trying to weed whack the flowers off when they first appeared. You always miss them. So if I can get all that stuff out of that front hill, that'll make future landscaping a little bit easier. There's a lot of dead leaves in amongst it too, because it's ivy, and it also catches all the leaves from the gum trees and stuff. There's dead leaves all over the yard in the front. We haven't got a single tree in the front yard now, so you know where all those leaves are coming from. Tomorrow is meant to be a really bad day again. The weather forecast isn't good. The fire brigade is saying it's meant to be really, really bad down the south coast, and they're worried about that all flaring up again. And they've been keeping a close eye on this fire that's down to the south of us from the dam, which jumped the dam, flared up a bit yesterday, broke its containment lines a bit, but the day before, sorry. Yesterday, last night, and today I think they've been doing a fair bit of backburning ahead of that to try and stop it from progressing any further. Hopefully that's going to be successful, and I'm really hoping that we don't get affected by these fires any more so than we are. Like, I don't want the fire to rip through this area, because we would like to sell our house in the near future, and the last thing you want to have is trying to sell a house and they go, oh, why is the backyard all black? Why is the bush all gone? Anyway, back down so it's ready for tomorrow. My next door neighbour's an arsehole when it comes to those leaves. This front yard's just full of them.
Saturday, 4th, young bloke came up today and was very helpful in getting more dirt spread around the yard and around the boundary lines and all of that sort of business. And then we cut up a lot more bamboo. I don't know if I talked to you yesterday. We cut up a stack and stack of bamboo and got that up to the tip in the afternoon. Put a whole stack of dirt in the front of the yard, and as well as doing it for fire breaking, we used it to level out the block from the stairs across to the car park a bit, the carport, just to make it a little bit more comfortable to walk across. So we'll have to get that to settle and stuff. But today was a lot of digging and shoveling for him. And then we got a lot more of the bamboo cut and some overhanging branches we got cut with the pole saw. Got him to do that. I'm gonna get fuel for the car. Back in a minute. Back again. Poor old Suzuki's chewing fuel, chewing through some fuel, doing all of this towing. Only getting about 7.5 k's a litre. It's not terribly good. As far as we know, the free green waste drop-off ends on Monday, today's Saturday. But when I was asking the bloke at the window, he said he's hearing rumours, basically from people coming through, that it's extended to the end of the month. And he said, we haven't been told anything, but it'd be stupid for the council to not leave it open, because they've been getting inundated with people doing it. It's just constant. When I asked the guys down the bottom, I said, yeah, busy day, and they said, oh yeah. The guy at the main gate at the top was saying it'd be stupid to say, oh, it's ending on Monday, and then on Thursday a fire comes through, because he'd never be re-elected as mayor. I've got my fingers crossed that that rumour's true, but I've got the young bloke coming back again tomorrow, just in case it does end on Monday, because we've got some overhanging branches to try and cut down and that are quite high, and yeah, I struggle with the pole saw now. He had a good go of it and locked off a couple of the branches that were overhanging the shed. Couldn't quite reach the really top one, but we were kind of rushed for time to try and make sure we got everything on the trailer and up to the tip this afternoon. Just did the one load, because I also had the back filled with cardboard that I found stashed all over the place. Like, we'd been flat packing all our boxes and things. I think I said that. So I was able to get that away for free as well. So I did that on a run that was going to be for free with the green waste. I've been going through the block and the sheds and that sort of stuff, and pulling out stuff that we just need to chuck and get rid of. Either as a timber take, so just small bits of timber. Like, I'm a bad hoarder, especially with material. When you're reclaiming, you don't want to throw anything away. You could do something with this, you could do something with that, and I'm keeping teeny tiny pieces. I'm going through and all these little offcuts of particle board and stuff, the laminated particle board. It's just time to chuck that out. My wife looked out the window and saw a little pile of the stuff, and she looked down and saw the white melamine and stuff, and she goes, that stuff's got notches cut out of it. What was that? I said, the old wall unit we had for the TV. And she goes, ah, what if we get to the new house and we want to do something like that? And I said, well, we'll have to remake a new one, because that one was designed to fit in the room that it was in, and she made that design. And then when we decided to change bedrooms, she modified the design, and I modified the project and re-interlocked everything, and it was designed to fit on the wall of that room, and then took it down again so I could put a built-in wardrobe in. So it's now, I've just been hanging on to it because it was something that I built, but I'd never used it anywhere else. So it really was time it's time to chuck it. So, and it's not free to take that stuff to the tip, so I'll be paying for that. I paid $50 the other day. Almost $20 of that was EPA levy. But pulling out steel and aluminium that I can take for scrapping again, which I might do Monday. I'll try and do the timber run tomorrow. Load up the trailer tonight maybe, and I can do that early in the morning. Like, no, I can't do that. It's one of the first things I usually get the young bloke to do, is do a dirt load first thing when it's not so hot. Oh. G'day, I thought I'd jump on and do a quick live because I've been too buggered to do any video editing at the moment. So I've just been collecting video and doing nothing with it. We've been watching this fire down to the south of us. Our local fire brigade had one of their trucks called down to Wingello, which is about 3 hours south of us. Pretty horrific fire down that way last night. Overnight we had a southeasterly change in the wind, and within an hour or so of me being outside, I went back outside, smoke everywhere. It was really thick. And my wife woke me up at about 3:30 in the morning to look at the satellite hotspots page, and the fire that we've been watching has jumped containment lines and travelled about 6 k's overnight up into dense bushland, so they can't really get at it, and it just seems to be going for it. And with the direction the wind's travelling, it's coming up our way. It might hit some of the towns a bit to the north of us before it gets to us, but that all depends on how the wind's going and whether they can jump onto it. There is a road out through the bush that they could act as a containment line spot. I rang our local fire brigade to see if they could give us any advice, and they just said, oh, it's just travelling along slowly, it's normal fire behaviour. And when I told him, we jumped onto the hotspot website, told him which website it was, which I can't remember right now. I said it's travelled about 6 k's overnight, which means it's about 10 k's from us now. Is it likely that the fire brigades might be able to get out along Ingar Road to create a fire break, or down Bedford Road to create a fire break? And he said, oh, that could be something that we do. Just keep an eye out. And about an hour later on Facebook, my wife saw a post from our fire brigade that basically repeated almost verbatim what I said to him as advice. He's checked the website, he gave a link to it. And so there's smoke everywhere, we're on high alert. I'm taking a whole stack of trash up to the tip that I'm going to have to pay for, but I just wanted it out of the yard. Young bloke's cutting up more stuff so we can get that into a green load. And I'd do this one before I drove off because I've got to read it. I was trying to sort my stuff out as timber and mixed waste, and just bring a timber load and a mixed waste. They were going to, I think I just decided the time to travel up and down would have been a waste for the stuff that I had there, and the pile was starting to build. So I had basically 180 kilos of crap with a stack of timber in here with that, and it cost me $67. The other day where I did 240 kilos of just timber, it cost me $51. So that's why they say try and split your loads. I mean, when I came in here, I still went timber in the timber skip and the rest of the stuff in the other skip, and the little bit of polystyrene I had into the polystyrene skip. So it's still getting separated out, but you just get charged a bulk lot for coming in with one trailer with crap all over in it. So I know I've got to get rid of more timber, and I will do that as a single load, but like I said, this was piling up next to the house, and with the fire coming, I didn't want to leave that there and do 2 40-50 minute trips in the day. I've got ash dropping on the windscreen. I gotta get back to the house. Actually, I've got to get a mic stand to see if they got some more dust masks. Got some. And these ones with the valves. So as you may be able to tell, the smoke's lifted a bit. I think the breeze is gentle rather than hard. So that was that was a very full green load. The young bloke's back cutting down more stuff while I'm doing this, so that when I get back I can just start loading again. Checked on the fires when I got back there. There's been a little bit of movement. Kind of relies on the satellites going across. But when the satellites do go across, they give you kind of a heat map of this is something that we saw within the last 2 hours, and the difference in colour and size is the certainty that they know that that was like a fire or something, and it's exactly where they're thinking. I've seen a few trucks driving up and down the mountain towards Wentworth Falls, where they can go out along King's Tableland Road and hopefully get ahead of the fire on that Ingar Road, and hopefully build a containment line that actually contains the fire. And as long as the winds don't get too vicious, they said they're only going to be maximum 40 to 50 k's an hour. As long as they don't get any really nasty gusts, they might be able to stay on top of it. It's out that way. Just trying to see if I can see any heavy smoke, and there's a lot of smoke, but I can't see any significant plumes. This will probably be the last day I get the young bloke to help me out with this. The yard's pretty much done. He's done a good job down the back. We've got a few things that we sort of need to do in the house, and storage, and providing that the fires don't become too unpredictable. I really hope they get on top of this. I'm meant to be in the city on Wednesday and Thursday for exam writing, and I don't really think I want to go in there. If there's a chance of a fire blowing up through my house. Can't leave my wife. But
do you get Sarah? Sometimes, you know, the bits they make.
Yeah, they've started to do a back burn over on the fire trail on the other side of the other ridge. So they've started back burning down the back over the other ridge. So just the other side of those trees, you might just see a bit of a ridge. If I was up the driveway, you'd see it. They started a back burn there earlier today, and they're doing all along the fire trails. As soon as they started that one, because when it first started it sort of blew up, we've had some ash and burnt leaves dropping in the yard, so I've got that sprinkler going, which you can hear now. And I think I mentioned before we're still packing and getting the irreplaceable things out of the place, and my wife said I really should get my artwork, and I kept not thinking about it. That's this one here. And this one here, that was my year 12 artwork. That's my year 11 artwork. We had to do our own painting, and then we had to stretch our canvas, then do the painting, and then frame it. And this was basically one of my HSC work, this one. So I'm going to remove the frames, because they're just too fine. Take the canvas off the stretched frame, and just roll them up so they can go into storage and make them easy to move because they barely fit in the back of the car anyway. It's about 20 after 6. You might be able to make out most of that is smoke, but I think there is some high cloud as well because there's been a little bit of, I felt a couple of drops, so I'm hoping that's, the forecast said it's meant to have started raining around 5, so there's a good chance that we may be getting just a little spit of it. I've seen one water bombing helicopter going across the loads of others. Anyway, you can see how clear that fence line is now. I've still got to do a little bit of clearing up right along the base, and that's going to be more for, I think, just my eventual look. We got some soil put along the fence line right at the very back. I want to do that up the side as well, just inwards. And it's almost like it's topsoil at some of the areas, like on this hill slope. You can start to see some of the grass growing back through it. I had the sprinkler on, my hose for the sprinkler. I only managed to get the sprinkler down about down to where the engoffer is. His hose had reached further, but I didn't get that far. And up there, you can see I've still got cover on the trailer because I start to feel the rain. And still getting just a few of those things that you just know you could never replace. I've got a dining table with tusk joints that my grandfather made. So my grandfather or his father. And that's basically flat packed. And then a little side table which was made of oak, I think, because it's really heavy. And that was in this shed here behind me, packed right at the back, so I'm glad I got that out. I'm hoping that this back burning actually allows them to halt the progress of that fire until it's extinguished. I just know that when they first started doing the burning today, a lot of smoke, and then when you start to see these things drop in your yard and it rains ash for most of the day, you get a little weary. Get these little things dropping out of the sky. Charcoal and little white ash pieces you see fall over the windscreen all the time. I'll get a few more things packed up and I've got a few more things to put in the car and we'll see how we go. Just sitting here getting this timber sorted, removing my pallets. I'm going to take the pallets into work and a lot of the timber. I'm trying to keep framing timber here for our renovations. But while I've been out here, the smoke has just rolled in like crazy from that way. So I'm hoping that's just all back burning. This is getting to my throat really quick. Gotta go find my mask.
there's a good and a bad side to this storm. All that sudden influx of smoke that hit me when I was trying to load timber and pallets from my hoarding stash into the trailer. That sudden influx of smoke and ash was from the back burning, which got away from the RFS because of a southerly change that came through, blew through their back burning. They lost control of it, and it started to spot fire ahead, so I started to notice some water bombing helicopters and that sort of stuff that came across, and basically the fire got away from them. And so now the fire is only actually, that was one set of back burning that they were doing that went awry. The other set was that way, so sort of the gully that way back, so not this side but that side, and it has spotted up towards the streets at that end. So while some heavy rain is really nice to have, we're now a bit concerned because it's thunderstorms with lightning, and the majority of the fires throughout the Blue Mountains have started from lightning strikes. So now we're worried that this thunderstorm could start something new again. It's currently 20 past 11 at night. That was a big one. It's a lot of sheet lightning, but there were some big lightning bolts earlier. Keep an eye out for that. I hope you saw that one because I saw it in the screen. Waiting for a train to go into the city. Here it comes. HSC riding. Sure enough, with all that lightning last night, a little bushfire started when a tree got struck by lightning. Apparently they got it under control though. Here's the train.
The smaller train looks like white. The yellow